Breathe. Breathe deep. Relax.
Patrick Jordan. Jordan said he and collaborators Dave Mansueto and Pete Spinda initially expected a shorter run.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of Alone Together Pittsburgh. I am your host, Patrick Jordan. We are streaming at you live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as the name would suggest. Thank you all for being here with us. As you know, we started the show a year ago this week. So this is our 1-year anniversary for more things than, for the show, the pandemic, everything like that. So we appreciate you welcoming us into your homes and mobile devices tonight. Before we get started with the show, and it is fantastic, action-packed tonight, we're going to have Addi Twigg is going to be here. She's going to do a song for us. She's going to talk. We got some other surprises. We've got Natalie Bensavenga is going to be doing 5 Minutes With, and also a little installment of Ask Natalie. Dave BRACEY is going to be here. It's going to be a hot show. But before we get to it, a little bit of housekeeping. Ticking below me is our Venmo. It is at Together PGH. If you feel the need or feel the means to kick in a couple of bucks, the money goes directly to the artists on the show. Nothing is too small or nothing is too large. Even if it's $1, that would be amazing. If you give $500 or more, you get to be a guest on the show. So there you have it. So rock on with that. So we're going to get to it. Last night was, our anniversary show. We want to thank one of our sponsors, Engine House 25 Winery, because we did a blind live wine tasting. And what do you think?
Do you remember anything from last night, Patrick?
I remember everything from last night. Pete, do you remember? I remember you drinking out of a mason jar.
Yeah. I still have the wine bottle next to me, actually.
Oh my God. Nice.
And I think there's still a little bit of wine in a glass next to me.
Oh my God. Did it open up overnight?
Ooh, it did.
Is it still there? That's great. So if you wanted to know anything about wine, I highly suggest going back and watch the first hour of the 2.5 hour marathon that the show was last night. It did feel like the first time, you know what I mean? Like I was actually hanging out with people and drinking in quite a long time. So it was great. I'm sure Natalie and Dale have something to say about that when they come on here too. But Engine House 25, if you go there, they're sponsored the show. They usually sponsor our in-show poll. We're not going to do that tonight, but right now, if you go to eh25.com, you can pick up a selection of wines that they have there. They have 8 or 9 different reds, blends, everything. If you watched the show last night, they've got everything. They've also got 3 different whites. So get on that, eh25.com. Tell them we sent you. You get $5 off per bottle. They're doing free shipping in the 412 during the pandemic, and they also have curbside, and their tasting room has some hours. So check them out, and thank you again for last night, Engine House 25 Winery. I wonder if that sulfite thing went to the test. We'll find out if anybody woke up with a hangover. I don't know. Dave, how did you wake up? Feeling good? Good. I think that's good. Well, before we get started, to bring the show down, I basically, since this thing started, we talk about whatever the COVID numbers were in Allegheny County. So They were 346 in the last 24 hours. We've been plateauing between 250 and 350 for a couple of weeks now. It's kind of tipping in the wrong direction. So if everybody watching can remember that we're not out of this yet, keep wearing your mask, keep washing your hands, keep social distancing. The mask goes over the nose. And if you got a chance to get your vaccine and it's your turn, go get that shot, and it'll make it easier for somebody else to get one tomorrow. So do that. And thank you to everybody who's doing that. I think without further ado, we should just get racking here. We should just get to the show. What are your thoughts, Dave, Pete? Should we just get there? Should we do it? All right. Let's do it. We BS'd enough last night for about 2 episodes. So we're going to keep it tight and get after it. Our first guest, I'm very excited that she's going to be on the show. I've wanted to have her on the show pretty much the entire pandemic. And she has been entertaining me, whether she realized she was entertaining me or not. She has been doing these TikTok duets. All right. So we're going to show one here. It might embarrass her. I don't know. We're going to show one of these TikTok duets. Then we're going to bring out Addi Twigg. So let's start off just to give you a little taste of Addi.
Strum 2, 3, strumming my pain with his fingers. Yes, he was singing my life with his words. Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
Awesome. That's awesome. And, well, here she is, Addi Twigg. Addi is also, she's a vocalist. She's in a couple of fantastic bands, Cisco Kid, The Telephone Line. So she's not just a TikTok duet-er. But here she is. Thanks for being here tonight, Addi.
Thanks for having me.
So what's been going on? I mean, we haven't seen you. So you've been busy during this here pandemic, which has been kind of awesome and somewhat inspiring. I know you guys, Cisco Kid, you guys released a CD. You released an album during the pandemic. Yeah,
and actually we were supposed to release it in April when the pandemic started, and ended up nixing the release show and everything. I mean, we had our like dream lineup, and we ended up having to cancel the show and ended up just putting the album out in October because we didn't want to wait anymore. We were like, let's get this out in the world.
Right on. So I mean, it's an amazing album, and that's fantastic. But so, other than just the TikTok duets, which I have so many questions about like the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
But have you been doing anything else? Like, what have you been doing to keep the creative juices flowing? Have you been just doing stuff on Zooms with people? I know it's been almost impossible to record stuff.
Yeah,
lately.
I mean, luckily we already had a home recording setup, so we were really lucky in that way. So we have been we didn't have to do anything with Cisco in that way because the album was already done. But Cisco did do like an Amy Winehouse cover, so that was a fun thing to do. Telephone Line has been working on a couple things. We were in the middle of recording our album when things got shut down last year, so we're still trying to like inch toward that. It's just slower now.
I can imagine. I mean, so you were starting to record the album, right? You were planning on doing that. Now it's a year later. You haven't finished it. Are there like new songs that you wrote, or there's new songs that you want to like get in there, or has things changed? Or some songs like you're not really into this song anymore? Has it been that kind of thing? Because I like micromanage stuff, and if you give me a long period of time, I lose my shit.
Yeah, no, I think if you ask any band, this is my assumption. I think with at least with the bands that I've been in, and I think I've heard other people say this too. Like by the time you get songs recorded, you're kind of like, I'm done with these. Can we, So you sort of want to be perpetually writing. I have not really felt the writing bug during the pandemic. Like that is one thing that my brain just hasn't been. Like I did a cover of Man Eater that benefited the food bank, but like I haven't been writing original stuff really. That just hasn't been something that I've had the urge to do during the pandemic. But
No, that's
yeah,
interesting too, because you're not alone. I mean, I talk to a lot of creative types, and like COVID brain, as not that you've had COVID, but like just
Yeah.
like during this pandemic, everyone's it's kind of stunted everybody's kind of
yeah,
process a little bit. I think that
Yeah.
just there's so much, the wheels are turning about so many things. Plus, over the span of the pandemic, the news cycles were insane. And they
Oh my
still
God.
kind of are, but like
yeah,
you had just so much, like the world was ending 6 different ways, and then there was all kinds of like elections and all this other stuff that was happening. So yeah, the creative bug, I think it just kind of like took a back seat. But I feel like,
yeah.
and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, I feel like people are sensing that there's an end in sight here for the pandemic, and I feel like people are getting those juices are going again. Just so long as they keep wearing their masks, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you kind of go into survival mode, and I know for me at least, like I still felt the need to be creative because that's part of who I am, but I guess I channeled that into things other than writing music, because writing music is something that I sort of now feel like I have to do, even though that's stupid. Like, when you're in a band, you're kind of like, well, I have to write songs, right? So I channeled it into other sort of creative ventures. But yeah, it definitely it definitely gets stale if you don't write new songs. And so Telephone Line is trying to record some of our songs that we don't really put into the set as much anymore, but we still want to have them on an album.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
As you can see where you can get it, Addi, on her Twitter and the Instagram for Telephone Line. Okay. Questions.
Yeah.
The TikTok duets. Okay. I don't know how it started. I know it's a thing. Okay. How does it work? Do you just see somebody posting a video and then somebody just tags onto it, or is it like planned in advance?
No, well, some people do plan them in advance, but what I've been doing, since I don't really have that many people I actually know on TikTok because I'm old, I just have been either searching for songs that I want to see if somebody did an accompaniment, because some people do like piano, other people will just sing something and you sing along. Or I've found people just going through my like feed and what it feeds me, and I'll be like, "Oh, I like this one." And then if you find one you like, you can go to that person's page and look through what they've posted to see if there are other ones they like. Like there's a chick I found who she just does like a cappella typically, and she'll sing in like a stairwell, and she has these incredible acoustics. So I've like jumped on a couple of hers. There's another woman who sings them in her New York City apartment, and she does like blooper reels where she'll be singing and then you hear a siren in the background and she's like, "Oh, New York," So you just kind of have to poke around and find your little corner of TikTok.
All right. Well, I have a little corner of your TikTok here that we're gonna run another one, and we might even have some surprise TikToks for later on in the show after our segment's over. Dave, can we run this one other TikTok duet?
One, your body's till now,
Or till
four,
now,
one.
till now, I always got by on my own. I never really cared until I met you. Oh, and now it chills me to the bone. How do I get you alone? How do I get you alone? Get you alone.
That's so great. I'm sorry. Like it's and I guess it's because it's TikTok. Nothing's really over a minute.
Yeah.
And it just hits. Okay, so that couple right there, those people who are dwelling together, did you found them random, and then that looked like a planned one? Was that planned?
So they planned it together, and they each sang a harmony and recorded together and just posted it, and then anybody can duet it. Now, people who know what they're talking about with music will say, well, that's not a duet, it's a trio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, vocally that is a trio of 3 people, but TikTok calls it a duet when you record along with somebody else's video.
2 screens.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
exactly.
a duet of screens. So you could have 10 people in one room and add somebody else in. So this is cool. This is like a thing because I kind of went down a rabbit hole after I started seeing you doing these. I started looking at other random things and I'm like, wow. And because there's some like amazing stuff out there.
And you can keep layering. Like do yourself a favor. I don't know if you looked up sea shanty TikTok, but everybody needs to Google it later because you can keep duetting videos. So like I add something and then another person adds something. And then before you know it, there are 10 people duetting the video and you've got like a whole choir. It's incredible.
That's awesome. I will definitely check that out. Before, I know you're going to do a live number for us. I'm excited about that. Before we do that, do you have anything coming up that you want to tell people about, let people know?
No shows or anything really, because obviously we're still in a pandemic. But I guess I would just say like follow the telephone line because we are still working on recording our album and it will get finished at some point. So follow us, telephone line, band.com. You can go to my website, additwigg.com and find links to telephone line and Cisco Kid and all of that stuff. And yeah.
Addi, I could talk to you all night here, but we gotta keep things rolling here. We've got an action-packed show, but would you be willing to do a number for us? I'd be very excited.
Heck yeah. Let me do a 30-second TikTok duet. I'm just kidding.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring my husband in to play guitar.
All right.
And we'll sing, this is a song by the telephone line. It's called Leave You Wanting More. And we actually have a music video online for this if you want to check us out. And I'm going to take out my headphones and be right back.
Go for it. Addi Twigg, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, let me scooch away so I don't blow away the speakers here. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, it feels like we make up just so we can break up again. Oh, I don't wanna desert you, but I never wanna hurt you again. Whoa, baby, now I feel so bad. I gotta say goodbye to the best thing that I've ever had. I gotta let go of something that I love. I hope you understand that. Ooh, 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 ooh. And only you know when push will come to shove, if you will ever come back, if you'll come back, if you're gonna come back to me. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Whoa, I just can't hang around. You're gonna manage somehow. You always do. Whoa, I know you're better off now. You got to keep your feet on solid ground. I gotta let go of something that I love. I hope you understand that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And only you know when push will come to shove, if you will ever come back, if you'll come back, if you'll come back, if you'll come back, you'll come back.
Amazing.
I hope we didn't peak too bad.
No, you didn't peak too bad. I
Okay,
feel like
good.
everybody listening at home's peaking because that was beautiful. that was amazing. Thank you so much. We got people here that are, Ryan saying it's amazing. It's the closest thing he's come to live music in such a long time. We got beautiful
Awesome.
harmonies. Everybody's like butter. People are loving this here. Addi, thank you so much for coming on to the show tonight. I want to talk with you more. I think we might have another TikTok duet surprise for everybody later in the show. But if you ever want to come back on the show for any reason at all, even if you don't want to, and you're willing to, please come back. And see
You
us
got
again.
it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Please, the links are in our chat here in the commentary where you can get at Addi for what she is from the telephone line to her own personal Twitter. So I highly recommend checking it out. All right, we're gonna try something a little different here tonight. We're gonna get a little saucy. We're gonna mix up the lineup here. We're gonna do something different. We're gonna separate Natalie Besavenga from 5 Minutes With, right? We're changing it up. We're starting the second year crazy. So now we're going to do a little segment we're calling Ask Natalie. Ask Natalie advice with the fancy graphic. And here she is, fresh off a 3-bottle of Engine House 25 wine night, Natalie Besavenga.
Fresh is not the word I would use, but that graphic, that was so good. I didn't expect that. I feel so warm and tingly inside. That was beautiful.
Well, we're first class. We're a first class operation here, and only the best for you. So,
I appreciate it.
So, how'd you feel this morning?
Not great, Patrick.
Really? Not great.
No.
Was
I'm being honest with you. I did not feel so good this morning. I haven't drank that much in a long time. So,
well, I mean, I think it was a necessary thing.
It was cathartic.
I have not drank that much in a long time either, but I did not wake up with a hangover.
Good for you.
Oh, you had one? Okay.
I did. Yeah.
All right, that's okay. So it's one of those things. That's all right.
Not like a terrible all day kind of a thing. Not like
just
that.
Like
but
you woke up
I woke up and I was like, something happened last night.
You exercised a muscle that you haven't in a while.
Like my liver was like, what are you doing to me? I was like, I don't know. I didn't mean it. Yeah.
Oh, God, the wine was really good though.
Oh, it was worth the hangover.
I'm saying that right now. Okay, so everybody go back and watch. Go back and watch last night if you get a shot at it.
And I gave my mom the number 3 bottle, the rest of it today, and she's been enjoying it, and she really likes it. Yeah.
I hope she wasn't driving.
No.
Like she's with us. Just throw a straw in that thing.
No.
Drive down the road.
I just dropped it off earlier today.
As I was saying before, it's one of those wines that it kind of gives you like a punch. Like you don't see it coming. It's like you're an hour and a half in, everything's going great, and then next thing you know, you're singing in Agata Davida, dancing on a bar. I don't know why I came up with that.
So I don't know what I said last night, but I'm not responsible for any of it.
That's okay. Across the board. That's all right. You were among friends. So ask Natalie advice. Okay.
Yes,
what happened? What happened this week?
I had a pretty juicy question this week and it created a lot of commentary both on the actual website uexpress.com as well as my own Facebook page. People were sharing their stories, so that was interesting. That doesn't always happen. What would you do if you were a 58-year-old woman? Put yourself in this headspace. You'd been married, second marriage. You've been married for 24 years. You've had sex with your husband 10 times. You've done $60,000 worth of plastic surgery, thinking that he didn't like the way you looked. You've gone to therapy about it twice, and anytime the subject comes up about him not wanting to have sex, he stops going. And when you first got married on your honeymoon, you went away for a week, you didn't have sex once, and on the honeymoon he said, I don't like it when you initiate sex, so you never did, and then basically you only got it 10 times the last 24 years. What do you do? That was the question.
Shit.
I know. I was like reading her email and I'm like, this poor woman. And beyond
Stockholm syndrome. Is that a syndrome? Is there a name for it? I don't know what that is.
There's so much to unpack there. But like the first thing I thought of was, I cannot believe that she spent that much money trying to fix herself to make him want her. Like she started the letter like, I'm a very attractive woman, like I'm very fit, I've always taken care of myself. So clearly she was so hung up thinking that this is a physical problem on her end, but like he's the one that won't have sex with her.
24 years.
24 years.
See,
And
this
she's
is-
like, I'm 58. And she's like, you know, I'm tired of being in this situation. And I don't want to grow old by myself. She said, but I can't
she
live
hasn't
like
thought
this
about
anymore.
having an affair. We're talking like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you don't know. Those 10 could have happened in a couple of week period, and she's been a dry
That's
decade.
right,
Or so.
that's
I mean,
right.
it could be.
Yeah.
And she kept count, and she doesn't even need to go to her toes.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. All right. Mari's saying divorce.
Yeah.
She needed you 24 years ago. I mean, see, I don't. This is what I find difficult about, you know, being an advice columnist or being a, because every situation's different. But
Yeah.
if you're in a marriage and
Mhm.
somebody wants something
Right.
desperately,
Yeah.
and the other person doesn't reciprocate, you know, there's things that you have to check off. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's some things nobody gets what they want all the time.
Sure.
But if somebody's, you know, expressed that much interest, I don't know why you stick around for
I know.
another 24 years. I mean,
24 years. I know.
but how's everything else going? Like, I mean,
Well,
what's
she said like beyond that, I guess here's the issue is that they have like a very nice relationship. Otherwise, it's not like he's verbally abusive. She said they get along really well. They have fun together. But she said she feels more like a sister to him than his lover or his
Wow.
wife, rather. So
Wow.
she just doesn't know what to do. And I think
What
too,
did
the
you-
second divorce,
well,
then it's like I think there's a pride issue that comes in for some people. Like they don't want to be twice divorced. So I think there's a little ego in here too, you know?
yeah, but I mean, things happen. There's
Yeah.
lots of. So what did you tell this woman?
Well, first I reframed it and I tried to reassure her that, you know, this isn't so much about her, I don't think, as it is about him. There's probably one of several options that he could be in the closet. He could be asexual. He could be unable to perform and embarrassed. Like there's so many things that could be going on. But what bothered me was that just saying that it's always about him. So it's always about him. So everything is always framed around what he wants, his needs. And she's always taking a back seat. So I said to reframe it and ask herself, what do you want? And to me, it sounds like you want a partner in every sense of the word. And you're not old. 58 is not old to try to strike out again and start again. So if that's what you want to do, then maybe this next chapter of your life, maybe it won't include him. I never want to tell people what to do, but I always try to give options.
Sex isn't everything, but
It's
more,
not, but
it is a thing. It's
a
part
thing.
of.
And the thing is, if she and him were on the same page and she didn't really care about sex either,
Right.
I'd be like, whatever, you know?
Right.
But the fact is, like, this is clearly, she wants to feel desirable. She wants to feel sexual. She wants to feel alive. And why shouldn't she?
Gotcha.
And who's to know if that will happen if she decides to strike out on her own, find a partner, but she'll never know if she stays trapped in this marriage.
All right. Well,
You know,
it's crazy. Like I said, I don't envy your job, but this was a rough one. I could see where this got a lot of answers from the peanut gallery. So that's pretty.
Sure did.
impressive. So
Mhm.
anyway, so we're on a time crunch tonight.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about sixes, but tell me a little bit about who's going to be coming up later on in the show with 5 minutes with.
Yes. So last week I did a very established CEO, president, Lisa Schroeder with the Pittsburgh Foundation. This week, in honor of Women's History Month, I decided to go on the other end of the spectrum and interview one of the youngest female executive directors in Pittsburgh. And she's only 24 years old. And I'm really excited for you guys to get to know a little bit about Teresa Leatherow. She is the new executive director of TiE Pittsburgh, which is a nonprofit focused on entrepreneurialism in STEM. So it was kind of cool. Both those things, woman in tech and a very young female executive director.
Awesome. All right. Well, I cannot wait.
I'm
And go get some rest tonight, drink some water. And we'll be back. We'll be back next Friday with another installment of not only just 5 minutes, we're going to have another installment of Ask Natalie Advice.
That's right.
And you can get it, Natalie, asknatalieadvice@gmail.com. Thanks so much, Natalie.
Great seeing you.
All right, nice seeing you too, always. All right. So we're moving things
Bye,
along
everybody.
here. So we're moving things along here. Before we get to our next guest, I want to give a quick shout out to another sponsor of ours, Farm to Table. If you go to farmtotablepa.com, you can find out everything you need from sustainable living, where the farms are, where the farmers markets are, how to get your CSAs. Every Wednesday night on Alone Together Pittsburgh, we have a Buy Fresh, Buy Local segment. So be sure to tune into that, figure out what's going on there right there. And, the marketplace at Emerald Valley was on a couple of weeks ago. I started getting boxes from them, and I am not regretting it. So just check out what's going on Farm to Table. Well, we're going to move on to our next guest here right now. It wouldn't be a Friday night without Dave BRACEY. So let's bring him in, see how he's feeling after last night's marathon show. Here he is, local brews. We're going to fix that logo for you for next time. And here he is, Dave BRACEY. What's up, Dave?
What's good, Sean?
How you feeling today, man?
I'm actually pretty nice, given our shenanigans last night.
It was shenanigans.
I actually, when you say low sulfites or whatever, it means that I had not the slightest bit of hangover. Usually wine will give me, that kind of like that pounding headache or whatever. But I was fine and productive. So, shout out to that.
Yeah, I was too, man. I actually learned some stuff. You asked some great questions. It was a nice panel to go to a wine tasting. I felt like I did something last night when I haven't done anything in a year. I felt like I might have even gone out last night, even though I never left the couch.
Yeah, no, it was fun, and I actually learned a bit more about wine, which is nice. And I actually found a wine that's like I could crave that wine. Wine in the past was just, if it's around, I'll drink it or whatever. But that one with all the leather in it was, I was like, yeah, I want more of that in my life. So super excited to dig into his collection in the future.
Awesome. So what beer are you drinking there? I saw you sipping something. It was a different color.
Yeah. So
I'll let you get to it in your own time.
Yeah. No. I got this Every Time Only Once from 4 Points. They're down in Charleroi? Close to what is it? Is that Monongahela? It's in that Mon Valley. But they're cranking out insane shit. I guess they're a bit newer. Only a couple of years, but they came out of the gate pretty strong, especially with the hazy game. But they've since expanded. Their sours are top notch. This is one of their sours. It has lactose in it, which I'm a fan of. Vanilla bean, a huge fan. And then this particular version of it has blackberries, pomegranate, and grapefruit in it as well. So every time they come out, there's different fruit thrown in there, and it's just very delightful. You really can't go wrong with anything that you get from 4 Points. But like I said, if you get a chance to get one of their sours, it's one of the really well done and complex sours out there. Outside of like one of your crazy herb saisons or something like that. But that's a whole nother bearded conversation.
Conversation. I like it.
It's nice. It's it has it's one of those beers that if you don't like beer, you might like this, because it doesn't really taste like beer, to be honest.
What could you compare it to?
Like a lemonade, kind of like a fruity lemonade. It's tangy, fruity, and there's there's some alcohol to it, like a sangria almost, but not much, like not much beer flavor. And beer flavor typically, you're thinking of like malty or hoppy. This is all fruit and sour. So
nice,
nice introductory beer. And then I'm gonna follow this with a Dead Sleep. it's not often I get to see Dancing Gnome. So they're down in Sharpsburg. One of the best breweries in the country. And they're known for their hazies. A very Pittsburgh blueprint hazy IPA. These guys, Brew Gentleman, Hitchhiker, these guys, they all lead the charge in that category. So it's nice to see a stout from them in a cooler. I mean, typically when they're dropping, their stouts, you got to like line up at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Get the chair out and do all that. I just have never really been into the line culture. So yeah, I just walked.
That did blow my mind because I was right around when the Brew Gentleman got started, right? Because they're right down the street from my theater. I understood the beer thing, but I didn't realize, like, when I would drive by and there was like 50, 60 people lined up in camping chairs and beach chairs waiting, and I'm like, what's going on in Braddock right now? So I'm like, this is something different here. But yeah, I didn't realize that culture it's strong, man. People
it's insane. Some people take beer way too seriously. And I guess it's nice, it's a thing to live for. I guess let people enjoy nice things, but man, what kind of lifestyle leads you to, an 8 a.m. Lawn chair, like, line up at a brewery? It just, I don't know, man. But
like you're waiting for, it's like the new concert tickets. I guess they took that away from people when Ticketmaster went online, and so nobody's lined up outside the NHR records. What was that? National Record Mart, NRM.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I guess it's an experience. It's limited. You hype it up. And again, I mean, maybe people meet people out there or something like that. Right. I can't. But yeah, no, I'm not doing that shit. Whenever.
Do you have another beer tonight?
Yeah, no. But this is fudge, and this is a fudge Sunday version of Dead Sleep.
Okay.
Whenever you see Dead Sleep out there, it may be coffee, it may be dark chocolate. There's a lot of different iterations of this, but this is the fudge Sunday. It comes in at 8%. So again, it's a double. I guess you would call it an imperial stout. But it's nice. It's a drinkable weight that you can maybe have 2 of them. Or again, if you want to share with a friend, by all means. I haven't had that quite yet, so I'm interested to see what the like how thick it is. Sometimes they're a little thinner, sometimes they're a little thicker. I like them a little thinner, if I'm going to have more than one. So, we'll see when we crack it open.
Understood. So we got a couple minutes left here. Is there any new barrel and flow news that you can break to us today? Anything else change up? Or are you still on the same path? Because we were talking about what's worth waiting in line for, and I would say the Barrel and Flow Fest would be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, so hopefully you don't have to do that during a pandemic. That was So we're just gonna tell everybody to go to the website and grab your tickets on April 1st. Yeah, I mean we're lining up acts. If anybody is looking for money to perform, money, attention, a crowd, a stage to perform September 11th, then fill out the application. Brewers, artists, musicians, chefs. We're looking, vendors, collaborators. If you're a small business, if you're an artist, if you have something cool going on, you got a cause of some sort, that's in the Black community, and you want to collab on this, fill out the collab application. Thanks to grants through the PLCB and New Sun Rising. We've been able to give all of the people who are participating in this festival this year a pandemic pay bump. So we have to give you this money. You have to earn this money. So please apply and let's get it cracking for the festival. And like I said, if you're looking for tickets, that's April 1st. And if you're looking for the beer, we've got 20 Black-owned breweries from around the country. I think 21 Black-owned breweries from around the country that are going to be pairing up with other breweries to do 16 collab beers
Amazing.
that Tabor is going to ship to your door. There's beer coming from all around the country. Trillium, Other Half, Allagash, Brooklyn Brewing, War Cloud, Cajun Fire in New Orleans, Revolution in Chicago. I mean, this
Amazing.
This 16 pack is absolutely insane. And it was not an easy list to curate, but it is full of some stars. Locally, we got Trace, East End, Brew Gentleman, and Burgers Brewing representing Pittsburgh here in the pack. So look out for more details for that and DigiFlow. So if you can't make it to to Barrel and Flow, you can do it from the comfort of your own home. So check that out.
Well, that's fantastic, man. So, well, thank you for being here tonight, and thanks for being here with us for the better part of this year again, man. We'll start year 2 of this show on Wednesday. So we'll see you there. You can get at barrelandflowfest.com, and then we will see Day again this Friday coming up with more local brews, and we will have a new graphic for you.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Day. All right, this is we are popping along here nicely on a Friday night. We're going to move now to the new lineup, so new things are happening. So we are going to now show you what Natalie talked about earlier today, a very special installment of 5 Minutes With. Let's run tape.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another 5 Minutes With. I am your host, Natalie Bencavanga, and today I have a wonderful guest. I'm so excited to introduce everyone to Teresa Leatherow. She is the executive director of TiE Pittsburgh and one of the youngest executive directors in Pittsburgh. Teresa, thank you so much for joining me.
Natalie, the pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited for everyone to learn a little bit about you. I find you to be so inspiring. So tell us a little bit about how you landed at TiE Pittsburgh at only 24 years old as the executive director.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. So it's, I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, went to the University of Pittsburgh, and now work obviously in Pittsburgh. And, throughout my life, I always thought, I'm going to go to a much larger city, New York or an SF. And every time Pittsburgh has proven to me that this is exactly where I'm meant to be. When I was at Pitt, I was very active in our honors college and studied business and engineering, and then started in my full-time role at a company called Numo, which is a fintech incubator at PNC. And now as an ED for TiE Pittsburgh. Throughout all of my experiences in Pittsburgh, the entrepreneurial community and this concept of networking and mentoring have been really core to me and my personal and professional development. It was actually through a dear friend and mentor of mine, Chris Millard, that I learned about TiE, that I became familiar with the opportunity to serve TiE in this role, and ultimately was able to be in this position.
So let's talk a little bit about TiE in general. So TiE is actually a global mentor and networking community. So can you talk a little bit about the specific chapter and some of the things that people could get involved with this nonprofit?
For sure. So as you correctly mentioned, TiE is a global nonprofit organization. It's very heavily focused in the United States, of course, in India, all across the world. And the TiE Pittsburgh chapter specifically focuses on the Pittsburgh entrepreneurial community in sort of, 4 different areas: the networking and mentoring pieces, and of course, events and programs. So we look to offer our members a fairly holistic membership approach to mentoring, to access to certain individuals who have had entrepreneurial success, and to programs and industries that are sort of hot buttons here in Pittsburgh. So it certainly is the go-to organization when you're looking to have value as a member, to contribute and to participate, but also to be a beneficiary. So I haven't seen that in a lot of different orgs that have an entrepreneurial focus in Pittsburgh. And of course, TiE is a large part of what's fueling the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Pittsburgh.
That's amazing. So I have to ask, you're 24 years old, you're a young woman, you've only been out of college a few years. This is such a big opportunity to get to undertake. Can you talk a little bit about what motivated you to apply for such an ambitious role? And what is it like for you being a woman in STEM?
For sure. So maybe naivety, maybe I haven't seen enough of the world yet, Natalie, to know, to kind of take a more calculated approach in this sense. nonprofit board expertise and roles has been something from a very service-oriented background that I have that I've always aspired to. And, to be very honest and to be transparent, it isn't something that I even thought was in the cards until like at least 30. And so that being said, I'm just as shocked as probably some viewing this to be in this position, but absolutely flattered and absolutely blessed. I think that these types of roles are something that we need to kind of take the shock factor away from for someone younger being in. I think there's a lot of vision that can come from a younger person that may think differently about how to approach the programming aspects, the membership aspects, and to just really be inclusive. I think that's something that young people often feel is they are told to get experience, but in order to get experience, you need to have 5 to 10 years of experience. And it's definitely sort of a double whammy, because how do you get experience if someone's not willing to take a chance on you? I, encourage and think that there are a lot of ways for young people to get experience, but they're going to have to take what I will call unconventional or non-traditional routes to doing so. And so I've been very fortunate in my life to have mentors and people in my life that have paved the path before me, both women and men, who have really taken the time to help and to educate. And, simply I wish to do the same, to pay it forward in this role, and to not only, be an example of the possibility of a younger person in an ED role, but to normalize it. Because if we don't, I think that we're going to see a lot more, well, I have to wait. And if we're going to live our lives like a big checklist and, check this off when we think that it's an appropriate time or, a prepared time, we'll miss our opportunity. And so, this definitely wasn't something I went into 2021 thinking, what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to become an ED of a nonprofit organization. But, it's an opportunity that in a position that I'm finding myself, energized by, enthusiastic about. I've met wonderful people like yourself, Natalie, and others who have really taken hold of the opportunity and are looking really to make great impacts.
No, absolutely. And I think all of your thoughts were so sound and founded just in this moment of reality. And I think if the pandemic has taught us anything, it really is, why not? Like, why? Right. It's like
right.
The world kind of turned itself upside down. And so why not take a chance? Why not put yourself out there? Why not try to have a new experience? The worst thing, you'll hear is no. And I often hear, when I think of no in the business world, I just think try again later, So
absolutely.
It's really great that you took that risk and you're trying to make broad changes to the organization in positive ways and create that sense of inclusiveness in the work being done. So when you look at the broader ecosystem of Pittsburgh in the world of entrepreneurship, what do you see in terms of what needs to happen to help propel Pittsburgh onto that international scene moving forward as a hub for entrepreneurs, not just in tech, but in general?
For sure. It's such a funny question. It brings me back to my college days and sitting in an engineering classroom with a few friends that we'd always speculate, Pittsburgh is the next Silicon Valley, hands down. We didn't think twice about it. And, being from Pittsburgh, it was kind of funny to me because, I thought, oh, well, I love Pittsburgh and that's awesome. But as someone who, like I said, was so gung-ho about being anywhere but Pittsburgh, it was really like, okay, well, everyone's saying that we should stay here and this is where we should be. And so I think a few things about the Pittsburgh ecosystem. One thing I think is an important distinction is that entrepreneurship is not synonymous with technologist. I think we exclude a large number of people and entrepreneurs and innovators who aren't necessarily in a traditional technology space, but may be contributing to a field that is technological in its nature. So when people say healthcare, financial services, autonomous vehicles, AI, robotics, seriously, insert any buzzword industry and you'll find, several startups related to that in the Pittsburgh area. I think what will define Pittsburgh's ability to really succeed and find its place on this stage, if you will, is what's always put Pittsburgh on the stage. And that's our connectivity to one another. And I think that is going to really, again, be what bolsters our success and make Pittsburgh the place that it is in so many ways already for innovators and founders to come to, not only develop their businesses, but, develop their lives, meet their friends, start their families, develop themselves personally, which is even probably more important than the professional aspect when you think about how much of the time we spend working. I'm new to the working world, but I've quickly learned that it is really easy to allow your life and your time just to be absorbed. But it's not a bad thing if you love what you do. But we need to make it an environment where people can love what they do and where achieving their dreams, frankly, is feasible.
That's wonderful, Teresa. What a excellent note to end on. So I just want to thank you so much for taking time with me. I'm so happy for you in your new role with TiE Pittsburgh. I'm so excited to see all of the wonderful things that you're going to implement and bring to the forefront in this city. So thank you so much for spending 5 minutes with me.
Thanks, Natalie.
Well, that concludes the show and the Natalie Bensavenga double feature, right? We had a little sandwich action, some bookends. That was great. Well, everyone watching tonight, thank you so much for sticking with us. I want to thank Natalie Bensavenga for being here tonight. Addi Twigg, she still might be here, and Dave BRACEY. Natalie and Addi are still here. So thanks so much, Pete. Thank you so much. And Dave, look at him, all in black. The man in black up there is doing it. Everyone take care of each other. Keep wearing your mask. Keep washing your hands. And we're going to leave you with one little piece of magic, a TikTok duet from Addi herself. One more.
Wonderful.
The bonus one. I'm glad we had enough time to run it. Dave, let's run this TikTok and then send everybody home. Goodbye, everybody.
Heard you coming at 2:45. You closed the door and laid down next to me. Then I heard you say her name in your sleep. Your dirty secret's too far gone to keep. I'm about to lose my mind. I think about you